Hello YouTube. This video is a follow-up on my initial review of StorjShare. It's been, I started doing this in the middle of January. I allocated two folders for doing StorjShare for renting out my unused space on my hard drives. So I allocated 2 terabytes on a 2 terabyte drive, and 100 gigabytes on my data drive, which is a 250 gigabyte hard disk. So, and you can see, so this is now early March, and in not quite 2 months since I started, I now have 132 gigabytes on the 2 tera drive that's been rented out, and 5 and a fraction megabytes on the 100 gigabyte drive. So, and I've been paid twice. So I wanted to try this to see what it would be like, how fast it would rent out the space, which is not very fast, but it is adding up over time. And I wanted to see that you actually get paid. So I started in mid-January, and I started before the cutoff, which I think is the middle of the month, in order to get paid for January. They pay once a month. So in early February, they published their spreadsheet of who's getting paid what, and then I think it was like the 2nd of February. And it took them till like February 22nd to actually get paid, but they did pay it. So that first payment didn't have anywhere near this amount of space rented out. It was more than like a few megabytes because it only been doing it for a couple of weeks. And I got paid a whopping $1.84. And I think $1.50 of that was just because they're subsidizing farmers. They call people who do this farmers, subsidizing them for a base amount of $1.50, and then the 34 cents was based on the amount of space that has been rented out, not allocated but rented out. So I just a couple days ago got, I think on March 2nd, yesterday, got the spreadsheet showing what the payment for February is going to be, and it was better. I had much more space allocated, although I wouldn't call it a lot of space, just more space. And that payment's going to be $3.11. So not quite double what the initial payment is, or was. And I haven't gotten actually paid yet, because they pay you in storage coin, and I expect that'll happen in the next couple of weeks. Their payment process is still manual, so it takes them a while to do that. I'm actually kind of surprised they can do it at all, given, I would imagine, the number of people who are actually getting paid. It's had to be a horrendous manual effort. But there we are. So, yeah, they do actually pay out. It doesn't pay out a lot, but on the other hand, it doesn't cost much to do this. The application is free. I figured the hard drives, my G drive, where I have the 100 gigs allocated, I use for data on my using my on my gaming computer just regularly. So that was essentially no extra cost. The 2 terabyte drive is a dedicated drive, which I had available, so I didn't have to buy it, and they recommend not spending money on this application, at least for now. So I had it available, I plugged it in, and it looks like it uses about 7 watts power. And so I laid that out, and based on my cost of electricity, that's about $1 a month. So if I got paid $3.11, and it cost me $1 to do that, that's $2 a month. I'm certainly not going to get rich doing that, but on the other hand, it's kind of an interesting project, and it is paying something. So there we go. So you can see down below I have, this is a community-developed app called StorjStat, which tells me how you're doing over time. So it shows you that I got on my 100 megabyte allocated space, half a megabyte allocated in the last 24 hours, and 280 megabytes on my 2 terabyte drive that's allocated. They did some other things, like they added a reputation to help them steer storage shards toward those farmers that have good reputations, and my reputation is pretty good. And I have pretty low response time. So generally speaking, when someone's going to upload something to their application, it gets chopped up into pieces that they call shards, and then they do a query. That's what the allocates mean. They query, I think, the 35 different farmers to see if they have space available, and if so, are they interested? It's an automated process, so it's not like you're manually replying saying, I'm interested. And then those that have space available, kind of like, I think they randomly choose who's actually going to get the shard, and then which shards are going to be replicated on another 6 nodes for redundancy. So it's a little bit of random, which is why my last restart 7 hours ago, I've had a number of allocation queries to say, am I available to receive stuff? But 0 means that they haven't actually sent me anything since I had my restart 7 hours ago. So it's a fairly hit and miss process about how quickly your storage allocation grows. I wouldn't call it quickly at all, actually. But it does grow. So I'm relatively pleased with this. I haven't done anything with the few storage coins that I've earned so far. I'm just going to let them sit and accumulate. We'll see what happens. If it doesn't do anything, who knows? But yeah, it's pretty good. It's fairly new cryptocurrency project. So they're going through their growing pains in terms of getting their architecture to scale. They have, if you go online, you can find they have I think it's quarterly conference where they talk an hour about what's happening with the project, and you can learn more about it. So that's kind of interesting. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up. You're not going to get rich doing this. On the other hand, it's interesting, and who knows what's going to happen. It might take off at some point, and then you fill up a whole terabyte worth of space. Should get more. I think basically the reason I got more than last time is not so much the fact that I've got significantly more allocated than prior, than initially in January, but I had some download activity. So when the people who are actually renting the space download it from the storage network back to their computer, you get paid on the bandwidth that's being utilized, and that's more than what you get paid off generally for the space that's being rented. So I had that, and I think that's why I got a little bit more this time. But there you go. Give it a try if you like. They're always looking for new farmers. People have space to rent. We'll see. Hope that helps and you found this interesting.